tell. Cockerel, he's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell. Cockerel, leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions leak, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel, the show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, the show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tell Cockerel. Today, August the 14th. Season starts tomorrow. Well, the Premier League starts tomorrow, should I say. Although we don't play till Saturday. New beginnings, 25-26 season. Everyone, don't know, people looking forward to it, not looking forward to it. I suppose, again, we start off with, we played a match last night. And in the match that we played last night, I think that I was away for the Arsenal game, but I read a lot that was online that we would get thumped and pumped. And I suppose I read some bits online that we were going to get thumped and pumped again against PSG. So two ways of looking for me, looking at last night, and I think last night what we saw is a lot of work has gone into this team with the tactics, the way the players played, the organisation, the robustness, being able to take on board and exact the exact the instructions that were given. That was really, really good to see yesterday. And it's only been 6 weeks. And to me, the new manager coming in, for people to gain the trust of the manager. So to gain the trust of the manager and also learn all the tactics, both in possession, out of possession, mid block, low block, transitions, however you look at it, whatever buzzword names you want to give to it, to absolutely learn everything that they're trying to implement at the club will take a lot longer than 6 weeks. It's going to take, you still may not have all these instructions, and you still may not get all this until the end of the season. It might take you a whole season. It might take you half a season. It's going to take time. It really will. It's going to take time. But yesterday, God, for me, I thought Romero had a storming game. For me, I thought Porro was superb as well. I felt Bentancur, for me, did absolute. For me, he's man of the match. Bentancur, he just covered every blade of grass, and he shuttled and he ran from one side of the pitch to another to close down fires. I thought he had an absolutely electric game. Mind you, all three in the midfield. So because they were a unit, and the unit in midfield played well, but I just felt that Bentancur stood head and shoulders yesterday, and reminded us of what a good player Bentancur, and reminded us of what a good player he is. I felt Richarlison played well as well yesterday. Thought Richarlison put himself about, used his upper body strength and held off both the centre backs for the majority of that game. Took the buffetings, won free kicks, and I thought he'd done really, really well. Jed Spence, he had a real stormer for the people that he was up playing against. I thought Spence had a stormer, and he switched off, didn't he? He just switched off for that 1 second, and it was a nanosecond he switched off, which allowed Dembele to get the cross in, and from Dembele's cross, it led to PSG's equaliser from Gonzalo Ramos. But yeah, it was all positive. It was all positive for me, what I saw yesterday. But I will say that even with all the positives, I can still see from yesterday's match, I can still see we need players. I can still see it. I'd say whatever channel I was watching it on, and it might have been TNT. Whoever the people were that were corresponding on the game, whoever they were saying, "Do you think Tottenham will now go into the season with a 5-3-2, the system they played yesterday?" And they were saying, "Yeah," and I was saying, "Well, I hope not." And that's what I was saying. I said, defensively, we look really sound, but do we have enough in attack with the players that we had yesterday? The players that we got coming back of injury, do we have enough in attack? Will we be potent enough, or am I looking for us to play different systems throughout the season? Yesterday, the 5-3-2 on the homework that Thomas Frank and his team did, they felt the best way to go and attack or to play PSG was using this 5-3-2 yesterday. I don't think with Thomas Frank, what you're going to get, and with the team, with the coaches and that, what you're going to get is you're going to get a game plan to play against every team. It doesn't matter who we played last season, we had the same game plan. Well, I'd say for 2/3 of the season, we had the same game plan. The last third of the season, by the time we had all these injuries and we lost all our creativity, our plans completely changed. And we played the same way for the last third of the season. But for the first 2/3 of the season, there was one game plan. Home or away, doesn't matter who the opposition was, we played one way. What you can see already with Thomas Frank and his coaching team is that they will play it accordingly to whoever the opponent is. And therefore, the team that gets selected and the formation that gets selected and the tactics that get selected will be because of whoever they're playing against. This is not going to be, yeah, you know what you're going to get. We're going to play this way all the time. So that, I suppose, is something that we need to look forward to as well. Overall, I sat there pleasantly happy with what was going on. I shared the room in watching the game with some other people yesterday, and all I've got to say is I've never seen someone pray so much in my life. I could see this person praying, just kept going like that, kept going like that, kept going like that, kept going and kept going. I actually put a comment to the person and said, "Are you preparing sermons for, you're a priest and you're preparing sermons?" Because all I could see them was praying and that. And that person is not here at the moment, but they know who they are. Um, and I'll see them Saturday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But I thought it was so funny. I was actually laughing watching the game by watching the antics that this person was up to. All I've got to say is they are biblically involved, and I actually thought that they were in the clergy. That's what I thought. They were in the clergy watching the game. But yeah, to me, as I said, I am so happy with what I saw yesterday. I think it bodes well for the season, but I'm still saying that we're short. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to still say that we're short. We still need more players. Um, the players put a shift in yesterday, but with other players, you can play a different system to what we played yesterday, and look potent in doing so. And some of the players that we're looking, or supposedly we're still looking to bring in, don't get me wrong, these players that we're looking to bring in, they do their defensive shift for their clubs at the moment. So when you look at if Eze is the one we're still after, if you look at Eze puts a defensive shift in for Palace. Savino puts a defensive shift in um, for Man City. So it doesn't matter that you're after these players and they are flair players and they're attacking players. They still put a shift in for the team, because at the end of the day, it's not about individuals; it's a team collective. And I can see yesterday straight away that we have got, and it might well be because we've still got injuries, but we've got gaping holes in that team that still need filling to make us stronger. And like I said, with the players that we're linked to at the moment, the two players that we are linked to, them two players coming in would improve us attacking wise, but also they would put in defensive shifts as well, because you should be defending as a team and attacking as a team. Do you know what? I've just spouted, and not said hello to people. Let me start off by saying, she says, big up Jose's Jess, and Jess also says, so many positives to take away from last night. Good afternoon, Jess. I hope you are well. Nice to see you on the prediction show earlier. I will admit, I went in, hit a like, and then I stepped away. And the reason why I did that is I didn't want to see people's predictions, because obviously I have a show tomorrow, so I didn't want to see what people had predicted, just in case. But it's good to see you. It's good to see you there today. Um, Alan, good afternoon. Sorry, good morning to you, Alan. Yeah, I believe it's still your morning. Yeah, it's definitely still your morning, Alan. Good morning to you. Says, hi, Jose. Looking forward to a good season. Tough loss last night, but PSG is currently the best team in Europe. We had them beat for 80 minutes, hoping Frank can get a few more signings. And he then further says, the subs are the ones to sink us, I think. They were not what we needed. Alan, I hope you and the family are well. We also have Colin B here. He says, good afternoon, Jose. Good afternoon, Colin. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you are well. Edem is here, and he says, afternoon, Jose in chat. Good afternoon, Edem. I hope you and the family are well, mate. And look who we've got. It's the glorious Nita. Says, hi, Jose in chat. Not too disappointed about the game last night. It got me out of my seat, but Pens I did not watch. Yeah. Do you know what? They say statistically, the team that takes the first penalty, or the teams that take the first penalty, statistically go on to win the penalty shootouts. And I was like, trust us to be taking the first penalty. And then when they missed the first penalty with Vitinha and we put the first penalty away, I thought, hold on, we might have a chance here. And then I looked there and I thought, why are all our defenders taking penalties? Van de Ven put his away, Porro put his away. But I thought, normally you wouldn't get two defenders in the first five taking penalties. And I was just like, what? What's going on? But you win some, you lose some. I watched the what's it called? The press conference that was done by Luis Enrique. Um, he was asked questions in French and and one in English. And it's quite interesting watching Pep uh, answer back in French. Sorry, Pep. What's that? Luis Enrique answering back in French because he was being asked in French. Um, the gist of it was that he turned around and he said that football was unfair at times. He said the best team was Tottenham. The team that probably deserved the win was Tottenham, but we've come away with the win, and that's football. This sometimes happens. The best team doesn't always win. That's coming from Luis Enrique. The other thing that I noticed with it is that um, Luis Enrique played for Real Madrid and for Barcelona. Now, in Barcelona, they speak Catalan, and in Madrid, they speak Castilian, which is mother tongue Spanish. Where I'm from, I speak Galician. So there are different dialects to the way that we speak. And I thought to myself, and I don't know where he was born, but I thought, is he born near the Basque region? And why I mean the Basque region, which is further up, is where Bilbao and San Sebastian are, is because the Basque region, you get people that are Basque because it's the Pyrenees there, isn't it? Yes, the Pyrenees there, and either side of France and Spain in the Pyrenees, they speak each other's language and they speak each other's dialect. And he was being asked questions in French, and he was just going, and it was all his responses in French were absolutely brilliant. Now I know he's been there for a season and a bit, but it was just so impressive the way that he's speaking French. And obviously, his English sounds American, like all Spanish people do. A lot of them they've studied English, but they all sound American when they speak it. And I'm not sure whether they've studied. Well, some have studied it, but some watch films as well. And when you hear them speak English, they kind of speak American. Um, but it was interesting to see what he had to say, and I was really impressed. Um, Alan says also Vicario was not good in the shootout. Right, Alan. Right, for me, I said before the game, and I've said all along through pre-season, for me, unless they can train it out of him and train him to do it, for me, the weak link is the goalkeeper. I feel that Vicario has a lot to learn. When I watched the Bayern game last week, people are going to say to me that there was brilliant goals from Bayern. And I'm not going to doubt that they were really good goals. They were well placed goals, right? But and the same as last night, the first goal that PSG got, well placed goal, right? But the big but that I'm going to say, and I might be too harsh here, but the big but I've got to say is starting position of his starting position for some of the goals last week and the goal yesterday meant that when these people took the shot, if you look at the shot that the PSG guys scored yesterday, Vicario was too far to his right hand side, and the players shot it across him to the left hand side. When he dived, right, he only covered half of the goal. The other half of the goal was uncovered, and he was beaten by it because I think his starting position wasn't great. Sometimes I also feel that his feet are not quick enough. Some goalkeepers on the paws of their feet, so that means they can go quick. They go one way or the other. And I know that goalkeepers all train this because you see it in all the drills that goalkeepers do. They all get trained on it. But for me, he's the weak link, man. I'm just like a bit wary about him, and it'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, there's new coaches at the club now. We'll see what happens with the new coaches. But with the new coaches at the club now, it'll be interesting to see one, whether Vicario changes slightly the way he plays and adapts and gets better, you know. And the other thing is Kinski, because he's already come out and talked about Kinski, Thomas Frank, and said that Kinski is an absolutely superb goalkeeper in the making. He can't wait to play with Kinski. They can't wait to see what Kinski can do for us. So the goalkeeping position for me is an interesting one, but I think that, yeah, as I said, with Vicario, I was just like, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Vindaloo's in the house. He says, big up, Jose. On positives, you were a better team, but on the negatives, the subs coming on drop quality. What on the side of having Dig PSG were half fit, only returned last week. 2-0 up after 85 minutes. I've had my say, but you did play well. I've had my say, Vindaloo, and there are positives to take away from yesterday. But apart from the positives to take away from yesterday, what it highlighted to me, and there were some really good performances, and tactically we looked astute. Still a long way to go. There's still a lot to learn his methods, the tactics. I was saying earlier, in and out of possession, low block, mid block, transition, all the buzz names that you got. There's a lot still to be learned, and it bodes well. But the one thing it did highlight to me, although it was a good team performance and players really did put shifts in yesterday, the only thing I can say is that I can still see that we're missing players. I can still see we need further players. And for me, I'm not going to let last night tell me anything different. With the performance, the way we played, I still think that we need some more. And look who it is. Angus is here. He says, Hola José, ¿cuánto tiempo? Espero que estés bien. Angus, yo estoy bien. Hace mucho tiempo que no te veo a ti y ojalá que aún que estás en España, que todo esté bien con tu padre y tu familia. Peace, brother. Vindaloo's starting a war. Vindaloo's brilliant, isn't he? Starts the war whenever when he comes on mine, he starts the war. I suppose it's like I suppose in mine it's probably like neutral ground. Because he feels he can come and do it on mine to Jess, but Jess is firing back. Look, I'll give you superb, superb. James is here, member badge for 10 months, and says, big up Jose, hope you're well. Smash the lights. Thank you very much. I hope you are well today, James. I hope you're well. And people are giving it to each other. Right, the other thing I need to do is obviously plug tomorrow. Predictions, everything starts tomorrow. The predictions show will be on tomorrow. But apart from predictions, first and foremost, I need to plug that this is Predict the Premier League or predict the football .com. And in Predict the Football, we go around and we predict the scores for the Premier League, but this is an online game that does everything automatically, right? And it looks a bit like, I need to show this, so it looks a bit like, right, Predict the Prem looks a bit like this. There it is. So, Predict the Prem, you can put your predictions in, and unlike some of the other games that you see out there, you can change your scores right up to the minute of kickoff. So let's say, for argument's sake, and I'm going to repeat, it's Liverpool I'm going to pick on because Liverpool playing tomorrow. Let's say I put in Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 1, because that's the way I feel today. Today I feel Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 1. I believe the game's on Sky tomorrow night, so that means the lineups would be at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. At the point that the lineups come out at 7 o'clock in the evening, if I see that I feel that Bournemouth have got a weakened side or they've got players missing, or I like the look of the Liverpool team and I think they've got more goals in them, then what I can turn around and do is I can turn around and change my score. So I've gone from 2-1 to 3-0. And that's the beauty of this online game, is you can change your score up until the point of kickoff. So you can put your scores in early, and then as and when you see team lineups and you think you need to make a change, you can make a change up till the point of kickoff. And with this game, you score points. You score points and points and points. And I'm trying to see, I don't know whether I can show last year's league or not, which is a bit different. Right, let me have a look. Is there any way I can do that? I don't know whether there's anything way I can do that. Let me see. They've got it. 24, 25. 24, 25. What's this one? 24, 25. It says I can change the dates there. Let me have a look at this one. That's not the one. It's not letting me go back one. If I could go back one, I could actually show you guys what I mean. But it's not letting me. Anyway, you score points for goals scored, for goals conceded, and getting the correct score. So, let me have a look at the standings. Right, standings. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. I can do it. Last year's standings. There we go. Oops, that's everybody. That's not me. Let me go. Let me just do this one a minute. El Coccarelli. Go back to last season. There we go. Look, now I can do it. So last season, there's a few players that have just started, so therefore we scored points for. So for last season, the winner was Graham, but I'm going to look for the predictions that were done last season. It's not showing me the predictions. Right. Anyway, the predictions work in such a way where if you score, let me see if I can mess around with the predictions for a second, just to make sure you're all aware of what we're doing. Oh, this is showing you. You all get access to this. It's not just me. You all get access to this. This is showing you how many percentage of people have gone for certain scores. So at the moment, Liverpool to win 3-1 has got 25% of people have gone for that scoreline. 22% have gone for a 2-0. 3-0 stands at 19. It shows you when people go for certain scores. And you've even got 8-0, 0.5%. Someone's gone for 8-0. Someone's gone for 6-1. But when it does this, you score 5 points for getting an absolutely correct result. But then it also depends. So if I said I wanted Liverpool, say like I went for Liverpool to win 2-1 and they won 3-0. I'd get points for getting the Liverpool victory, but I wouldn't score much in the goal difference because if I've gone for 2-1 and Liverpool win 3-0, then I've predicted 1 goal less to Liverpool, so I'd get a minus goal for that. And I've also predicted that Bournemouth will score 1, but they didn't score none, so I'd get a minus goal for that as well. So the actual goal difference plays a part in this as well. But anyway, it's in there. If you want to play, guys, you're more than welcome to join in. Currently, we sit at 46, I think, players playing that game. The other game that I've got, and Jess, I'm going to join your league today. I've left it to do. I need to pick my team and everything. So I haven't picked my team yet. So I need to pick my team, and then I will go ahead and join your league. So I will join your league today or tonight, should I say, when I've got a bit of time. But the other game that we do play is the. Let me have a look. Where are we? Go back up to the chat. And people on X, if you can see, you can enter. There's no problem whatsoever. The code's there as well. You've got the Eltel Cockerell Fantasy Premier League, and the code's there as well. And at the moment, because I haven't looked at it for quite a while, but at the moment in the Fantasy Premier League, we have. Oh, there we go. Now I've got to look. Eltel Cockerell League. Right, we have. God, these numbers have gone up, haven't they? This is the last look. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 41 people have entered the Eltel Cockerell Fantasy Premier League. The link and the code are in the chat for both of these games. They're both in the chat. They are both also in the description of today's show. So anyone wishing to enter, you are more than welcome to do so. And then last but not least, let me see what you guys are saying because you lot are talking. Vindaloo says, I will join the other league's predictions, but I don't know if I have time for them. The beauty of doing doing the one that I've got there online is that you can put them in bulk. You can actually do them like 4 weeks. You can do the whole season in advance, and so that you've got them in there, so you can predict every result for the season. And then as each game week comes up, if you fancy changing it, you can change it. But at least you know you've got a prediction in, so to speak. You've got people saying like each other. Razzle Dazzle's here. Says afternoon, Jose. Good afternoon, Razzle Dazzle. And people are just talking to each other. Drula's just popped in, and Drula says, "Big up, Jose." And the Cockerel crew just popped in to smash a like. I'm waiting on a call from the doctor, so be with you when I'm done. If you're still alive, thank you very much, Drula. I hope everything goes well with your call. So today, and I need to say this, tomorrow is kickoff, 4 o'clock. It's the first show of the year with regards predictions and with all the other games. And with all the other games that we play. So tomorrow it's 4 p.m. But unlike the previous 2 seasons that we've done predictions, the interactive one that we do live on the show, you're going to need to be a member to take part in predictions because the chat has been set up that only members can predict or predict the scores. And what it does, it just means that I can put my time and effort into the members, and you don't have people that just come in and out and just put a result and then don't appear again, and it ends up costing me loads of work. Last year, the amount of time I spent, and if you remember the graphs that I was doing or the tables, you'd have someone there who's done three predictions, and the other 12 are empty because they haven't done the rest because they're only come in and put 3 in. There's some people that only came in and put 1 in. There's some people that come and go and only appear once in a blue moon. And in the end, I just want to keep it intimate, if that's the right word. I want to keep it intimate, and in order for doing that, I'm doing it as members. Everybody who's not a member will be able to see, not stopping people from watching the show. People will be able to watch the show that are not members. Just you won't be able to take part, and it'll only be in the Friday shows at 4 p.m. that you won't be able to take part. So any time that we do predictions is the only time that it'll be members only. When I do the results show, I'll do the results show for everybody, and everybody can view the results show. People can talk, people can banter each other. It was only going to be for the predictions. So tomorrow's show, starting with tomorrow, all prediction shows will be members only. So tomorrow, please, if people are watching this on playback, because I know there's loads of people streaming at this moment in time, never normally happens. And I don't remember last season having this many people jammed at the same time, but everyone seems to be jamming at the same time. But yeah, tomorrow, please don't feel that you've been kicked out, booted out, or anything's happened to you. Nothing's happened. It's just it's members only if you want to predict in the online one live on the show. The others, if you're happy just doing the others and you don't want to get involved in predictions, then join the other competitions I've got there as well because they're free of charge. Razzle Dazzle says he's going bald on his predictions. Razzle Dazzle, if you're entering the one that we do on live, you would need to be here tomorrow at 4 o'clock because it is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first one, like it says down the bottom there. So yeah, with that, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I've already picked out I've already set up the spreadsheet with the 10 Premiership games. I've now got to go and decide how many bonus games we're going to do, and I've got to go and set the bonus games aside as well. So that'll be done. I might well do it tonight. I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I might well do that tonight. So I will set up the other predictions, the bonus games. I was going to ask. I was going to ask the question from you guys. But there's only like a few of you here. But I was going to ask, what do we do for bonus games? Do I do 2, 3, or 4? And I've got a feeling of how many I think I'm going to do. But I was going to ask the question, but there ain't enough people to ask the question. But we shall see. I'll have it. He's going bold in his predictions. James is looking forward to it. Daz, good afternoon, Daz. I hope you're well. So it says big up. I'll be joining predictions as well tomorrow. Daz, like I said, mate, predictions is for members only. The live interactive one that we do here will be members only. So members only are the people will be the only people that will be able to write their scores live as we're doing the show tomorrow. But there are another 2 games there that people are more than welcome to participate in. They are in the link description for the show, but they are also within the chat. So, and this is to the people on X as well. If you fancy doing Predict the Prem, then please follow the link for Predict the Prem. Again, it's in the chat and it's in the description, and there's a code, and that gets you into Predict the Prem. And then also Fantasy Premier League. So the Hotel Cockerel League is the code is there as well. So enter that, and you can also enter a team in the Fantasy Premier. As I said, the only one that tomorrow that you won't be able to do, and people can watch but not comment, it will be when I do the so when I click the link for the fantasy game, it says the page can't be found. Interesting. Right. Hold on, mate. Hold on. Right, Alan, try this one. Okay, try this. This is like this. I've just got this from the page that I'm doing at the moment. Oops. Right, try that page there. Try that page followed by the code. See in the description of the show, it should take you automatically. Yeah, in the description of the show, it should take you automatically, I would have thought. But if people are having problems, then please try this link. Tell me if it works, guys. Should do. Razzle Dazzle says that's working, right? And then all you need to then do is enter the code. It's a fantasy football league. You go into leagues, you ask to join the leagues. It's a private league. You ask to join the league, and then it will ask you for a code. And the code you put in is ZQ6L. And I've lost it again. Okay, 6LYFR. There you go. There's the link and the code. There you go. Good afternoon, Angus. I read out your Spanish earlier, Angus. I responded to you in Spanish as well, Angus. And that was it. Never heard back from you. And then you got a lot of hellos from a lot of other people that were saying hello to you. Angus, I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. And I hope your family are well as well, because I know that you had some stuff going on a few months back, a couple of 2, 3 months back, and maybe slightly longer. But I hope everything is resolved now, and that everybody in your family is full of health and on the road to recovery. So I wish you and your family all the best, my friend. I have to apologise, Angus. Family always come first, mate. Family always come first. Yeah, so Fantasy Premier League is there. Go into Fantasy Premier League and then enter this code, and this code will get you into the Hotel Cockerel League. And as I said earlier on, you've also got Predict the Prem, and Predict the Prem is highlighted. Predict the Prem is also highlighted. I'm just trying to see where I highlighted it here. So if you want to do Predict the Prem, There you go. Predict the Prem is there for you guys as well. There we go. So that's where we are with it all. So what do people think? People looking forward to it? People looking forward to the league starting? I know we don't all support the same club, but are people looking forward to the league starting? Not looking forward to it? Yesterday make any difference to you, the way that you're thinking of the league, the way that you're thinking of the competition starting? So I'm just trying to see if there's anything new on here. No, I think we are where we are. The two players were still supposedly looking at the two players. Yeah, there's not much. There's not much at all on the news. Right, Daz, hold on, mate. Let me just sort that one out for you. Right, try Daz. Try this one. This link here. Right, I'm going to put another link in. There we go. Try that link there because this is the link that I've got open at the moment. And then once you've done that, and this is Daz who says he couldn't see it. Right, Daz, once you've done that, you need to enter the code, which is just above 561854. So that's predict the Prem. So that's that, followed by the code is 561854. That's the code that gets you in. Predict the Prem, it's called. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. I miss doing predictions. I'm glad they're back, says James. I'm glad to be back and having it on board. Angus, lo que me jode es que no puedo irme a la última vez a ver mi abuela. When you say la última vez, does that mean your abuela has passed, or is she on her way to passing? I don't understand because the way you've written it there, it's written as if you cannot go and see her, or weren't you able to see her? I don't understand. But either way, you said sí. Ay, se ha ido ya. Ah, perdona. Mis pensamientos contigo y tu familia. Eso sí que jode. Por no ver, no ver la abuela. Eso sí que jode. Pero mis pensamientos, ya te digo. Has that worked, Daz, for you? Has that worked for you? I hope it has. Right, if anyone's got any issues in joining these games, the two online ones, let me know. And then I can help you out. It's Peter. Peter, it all starts tomorrow. Like it says down there, mate. It all starts tomorrow. The predictions are back, Peter. I bet you'll be glad to do your predictions again, mate. But the predictions are back. But yeah, you're all right, Peter, because you're a member. It'll be members only. So the chat will only be able to be filled by members. Anyone that's not a member will not be able to fill the chat. Going to repeat again. The other two games, the Predict the Prem and Fantasy Football, they are free of charge. You can enter them as and so when you feel fit to enter. Peter, I hope you're well, mate. What did you think on yesterday's game, Peter? I've been working today, so if you've put anything in any of the chats, I haven't seen it. I've not seen any of the chats today because I've been working hard. It'll be interesting when I do read the chats, but I haven't read them as yet. So, what did you think, Peter? What was your assessment on the game yesterday, mate? Peter has gifted 10 channel memberships. In saying that, though, I was going to ask. I'm still asking the question, Peter. What did you think of yesterday's game? If you can respond, Peter. Peter, you saying it was a good match and we lacked up front. Peter, I did say at the start of this show, right, that there are some positives to take from yesterday's game, but even the positives, I still felt that we are lacking, and that the two players that were supposedly very much linked with at the moment do improve us, definitely do improve us. And Peter, what are your opinion, or what's people's thoughts? Because I did say my thoughts earlier, but no one's responded and said things. Peter, what are your thoughts on? I heard the commentary team last night on TNT who did the game. They were talking about they thought that Thomas Frank would go into the season and the majority of the times would play this 5-3-2 system. And although defensively it does work, um, uh, it does lack as well. For me, Peter, it does lack as well in the upfront side. Um, so for me, I'd like to see Thomas Frank adapt and change systems and formations to the opponents that we play against. But if we're going to go on a 3-5-2, how do you fit Eze and Savinho into a 3-5-2? I don't understand how you fit Savinho and Eze into a 3-5-2. I understand how you fit them into a 4-3-3 or into a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2. I can understand that, but I just don't understand how you fit them into a 5-3-2. Because a 5-3-2, unless you're going to drop a Doggy and Spence or a Doggy and Porro, whichever your combination is, then where do you fit Savinho as an out and out touchline winger or as an out and out winger? And then Eze would play in a 10. But if you're playing a 3-5-2, do you have a 10 and one forward, or do you play with two forwards when you're playing a 3-5-2? I'm just, interested. To me, as I said, I saw a lot of players yesterday do really, really well, and I really, really did well. But yeah, but I just, I'd hope we change it all up. Jack Spurs says, Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jack. I hope you well, sir. Peter says, my only concern is 2-0 up and bottled it. Serial winners and serial also rounds. Peter, it's unfortunate. I did say this earlier that and Peter says that he would have brought Johnson on. Would have brought Johnson on for who, Peter? Who would you replace Johnson for yesterday? I just think that Jed Spence, for me, Peter, I turned around and said, it's not, I'm going to say Peter because I said this earlier and people here earlier. For me, I thought Romero had a storming game. I thought Pedro Porro had a storming game. My man of the match was Bentancur. I think he covered every blade of grass and put out every fire. Although it was in conjunction with playing with Paulinho and Sarr, but I still think he did well. And then also I thought Richarlison. I thought Richarlison did fantastic as well. I thought his hold-up play yesterday was absolutely impressive. I'm still not sure whether the ball bounces off him or not. Still not sure about if the ball keeps bouncing off him and that, but he did hold the ball up well yesterday. They're the players of note. And Jed Spence, I thought, had a really, really good game, but he switched off for that nanosecond that allowed Dembele to get the cross in and Ramos to score for the equaliser. Had that been blocked, then it would have been 2-1. Had that been blocked, it would have been 2-1. It's quite simple. But there were green shoots there. There were definitely green shoots. Nita says that Pap Sarr plays much better without Biss. Interesting. Probably. I'm going to come to the comments in a second. Just Peter did gift out the channel memberships. They've gone to Fiona Swim Master, who's now here, thanking Peter. So thank you very much, Swim Master, for that. It was Peter, and thank you for thanking him. You got Starman floating in the sky, Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur, Daz Reynolds, who's here in the chat, has also been given a membership. So that means, Daz, now that you've got a membership, you can take part in the predictions game tomorrow. Then you've also got Smithy's been given a membership. Ryan G, has been given a membership. The Harmless Potato has received a membership. Scott Colliver has received a membership. And Coover99 has received a membership. So you've got Coover that played last year. Ryan G played last year. So did Smithy. So you've got some people out of them 10 that were gifted by Peter kindly that do partake in predictions and may well be here tomorrow to jump on their membership that's been given to them by Peter or yeah, by Peter. It's not, it was Peter that did it. Jack Spur says the match was brilliant, yet no more Ange Ball and Johnson should have played yesterday, and he should if replace Richie and shift Johnson to a striker because the position didn't allow wingers to play a 3-5-2. The wingers yesterday, Jack, were the defenders. So Pedro Porro was the winger, and so was Jed Spence. They're the ones that were providing for down the flanks. But yeah, it's there's positives. There was positives yesterday. But they did very good, says Jack Spurs. Yeah, they did well. As I said, I'm with someone like Thomas Frank, and I'm not saying that other managers don't do this, but what you do know from when he was at Brighton, because if you listen to the interviews and the things that he talks about at Brentford, when he was at Brentford, what he was doing at Brentford, he's actually brought to Tottenham, and he's doing it at Tottenham as well. And he did say when he was at Brentford that he sets up his team and changes formations all the time and sets them up to play against, to nullify the opponent and get the upper hand. So not just to nullify a team, but also to give them the best chance to go on to win the game. And he does that all the time with every game that every opponent. He doesn't play the same system to every opponent because every opponent hasn't got the same player. So, and he goes into detail. I mean, him and his team, and I've seen fly on the wall stuff from Brentford, but him and his team, they would go and it's not only the team that they're identifying and they're picking up a system to play against, but they're also telling you what each player does and what the strengths and weaknesses of each player is, what the player likes to do. That's how meticulous this chap is. And at the end of the day, like I said earlier in the show, it's down to our team. It's down to the players. He's only been here 6 weeks. You're not going to pick up and understand every instruction and every formation and everything you're being asked to do inside of 6 weeks, because in 6 weeks you've played 5 or 6 friendlies, right? When you start playing premiership games, you're going to be playing different teams every week, and he will have a plan for every team that he plays against. He'll be playing in Europe. He'll be playing cup games, and in the cup games, in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, you may not draw teams from the Premiership. You might draw teams from other leagues, and therefore you're going to do your homework on them as well. So there's a long season ahead, but at the end of the day, we'll only be as good as, and it's going to be down to the players on whether they can take the instructions on of the manager, and if they can do that, then who knows? What remains to be seen what happens. Nita says that she thinks that Biss will get moved on. Quite possibly, Nita. There was talk about him going before the final, and there was talk about him going before his misdemeanor, and now he's completed that misdemeanor. I don't know what's going to happen. He probably will get moved on, but yeah, there's still 3 weeks left, or what did we say? The 14th, I said. 1st of September is 19 days away, if I'm right. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31st, 1st. There's 18, 19 days left of the window. And in 18 or 19 days, I'd like to think that we can move out some players that we may not want to do. But yeah, at the end of the day, he looks like he's going. Before he did his misdemeanor, he looks like he's going. Jack Spurs says that's a good formation against the likes of Liverpool, Man City, Man United, and through teams are going to be very good applying pressure and banging in goals. Peter says, not taking anything away from us, PSG are coming from a break and a long campaign. You can only beat what's in front of you, or you can only play to what's in front of you, regardless of how long people have been here, not been here for. And I understand what you're saying, Peter, but PSG are PSG, and they have got one of the best teams on the planet. And that is a fact. They are one of the best teams on the planet. Okay, they didn't win the Club World Cup, they lost in the final, but 9 times out of 10, I would say that PSG win that final. And it's just that on the day, Chelsea played much, much better, and Chelsea had their number. I can't see PSG losing that many games of football. They are a very, very good side. So at the end of the day, you've got to play what's in front of you. Peter says, what did Biss do? Peter, on Tuesday, so on Monday, Thomas Frank has selected the squad that are going to play in the Europa, in the final. So he had to pick a squad of 22. So he's named his squad of 22, and he's left out the two centre halves, Takai, who was injured, and he left out Vuskovic. Vuskovic, by the way, was on the bench yesterday in the sense that he came to support the team. So they had all the players there, even the ones that weren't in the 22. And Vuskovic was there, and he looks like a mountain anyway. But anyway, so on the Monday, he selected the squad, the 22, and in that 22 was Bissouma. However, when he did the press conference on the Tuesday, the day before the game, they did the press conference for the final. For the final, he turned around and he said they asked him about injuries and stuff like that, and I think he was asked a question about Udogie and Solanke are both in the squad. So Solanke obviously came on the pitch yesterday. We saw that. Udogie was on the bench, right, but didn't get any minutes. So he said, yeah, they're back. They're back in and amongst the players. But then he turned around and said the only player that's not in the squad now is Basuma. So he was then asked a question why, and he said because of internal dealings or something is what he said. Further on down the line, another journo said, "You said that he's internal for something internal matter. Can you elaborate on it?" And Thomas Frank said that he's been late on a few occasions, and that this last time was one too many. So basically, was it Ange? Ange dropped him at the start of last season, didn't he? Or the start of the last season, or the season before? No, last season. The first game of last season, Ange dropped him because of the balloon stuff, didn't he? And he dropped him out of the squad. But even Ange was saying back then that he turns up late and stuff like that. If it's to be believed, when you see him, I mean, I don't use none of it. I don't use your Instagrams, your TikToks, and all that. But apparently, in the dressing room, he's like got cameras set up everywhere in the dressing room, and he does these TikTok music videos and shit like that. He does all that in the dressing room, so he's up for all that, but he can't turn up to meets on time and stuff like that. So Frank has just had enough and just said, you're not in the squad, and dropped him completely. Although there is a school of thought that with 1 year left or 11 months left on his contract, that Tottenham are looking to sell him anyway. But he wouldn't have done himself no favours. I don't think that Tottenham have done themselves any. Have Tottenham done themselves any favours by saying this and announcing this in a press conference? Because if you've got prospective teams looking to buy him, and he's been dropped because of his poor attitude and not turning up to meetings on time, then who's going to want to take him to their club? Do you see what I mean? So I'm not sure whether it was good to say stuff like that, but Frank was being honest. He was being asked a question and he was being honest. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So that's what happened to Biss, mate. Nita says, in the game yesterday, until the changes, all of the players knew what they were doing. The game was flowing nicely. I think that's a fair few of you said that the substitutions changed the game. Marianne, good afternoon, Marianne. I hope you are well. Says big up Jose on the chat. We are well, Marianne. We are looking forward tomorrow. We are looking forward to tomorrow for the predictions league to start. Nita says Biss keeps turning up late for work. That's why Frank left him behind. Ed M says I thought I was back in the 80s watching Jack Charlton's Island. Long balls, long throws. Put them under pressure. Better not playing this archaic football every week, or my patience will be thin, says Ed M. Drula, she says, I'm back on my proper account so I can do predictions. Well done, Drula. And she said hello from a few people. Chem time. Good afternoon, Mr. Bossman Jose. I hope you're well today. I am Shemtam. I hope you and yours are also well. Nice to see you here. Tomorrow, Shemtam, the whole lot kicks off tomorrow. 4 o'clock, as it says down there. You're all right. You'll remember you'll be able to participate live. Peter says, if they send Vuskovic on loan, it's madness. This kid is an ex-Maldini. Peter, I couldn't agree more with you. I'm not done about Maldini. He could be a multitude of players all rolled into one. I think he is absolutely the dog's bees. I do. And he was the only player that I've said all along that I would not send out on loan. I have all the young uns was this fella. Because I think this fella is ahead of, well, for me, if you're going to say Danso's ahead of him, he's fourth centre half. And if we're going to play three at the back, three centre halves at the back, that is, then, or three at the back that can play football, then if he's your fourth one and one of them gets injured, then he's in the side, isn't he? Because we don't know when Dragison's coming back. I would definitely keep Vuskovic. I've said it all along, mate. Vuskovic for me is absolute quality, and I think he'd get game time with us. I think he'd get game time with us. Yeah, you're saying you need to rotate, and I agree, Peter. But I think he'd get game time with us. Don't know. I can't predict how much game time we'd get. I don't know if we're going to get injuries or not injuries, or people in bad form or not. So I can't predict. But I do think that this fella is worth keeping, and he's worth putting in and keeping him around. I wouldn't send him out on loan, but I don't get paid the big bucks to make them decisions. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Marianne has come in. She says, I'm so proud of our boys. They were magnificent yesterday. If only we had a better squad, but it shows what a good coach can do. Is there any news on Eze? Drula, I have been working all day. I haven't looked at any of the WhatsApp groups that I'm in. I've not looked for anything at all. I haven't heard anything. Any news? People talking about bombers all the time, and I'm just like, is there a bomber? People are all talking about it. People have put it all on their shows and whatever they've been doing throughout the day. I don't actually know what the bomber is because I've not heard it. So to me, I just think we've not heard any news on Savinho or Eze. All I've got to say is that if they're going to be in the squad for Saturday's game against Burnley, then someone needs to be signed and cleared by midday tomorrow. If you're not signed, paperwork in, by midday tomorrow, then you are not in the squad for Saturday's game. That's all I can say. Peter says absolute class. Peter also says back to work, people. Have a good afternoon. Peter, thank you very much for your kindness. Thank you very much for what you've put in the chat and what your comments are. They're well appreciated. And yeah, keep doing that important job that you do, my friend. And I will catch up with you very soon, Peter. Possibly tomorrow if you're around for the because you are a member and you are a member and you're probably the leader of members as well. You can join us at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I don't know whether you're working tomorrow, but you know the routine, you know the drill, you know the score, Peter. You're into predictions, so you're cool. You're done. With Eze and Savinho, for me, it's not either or for me. In all honesty, I'm not looking at either or. I think for me personally, you need them both. It's not either or for me. You need them both, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for. I've heard all this stuff about if you're a serious club and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to turn around and say that I don't agree with the comments because I do. I watch teams around us. Uh, you know, people that do run their clubs well, that may not bring in as much as what we do. People that definitely don't bring as much as what we do in. People whose stadiums are tiny in comparison to our stadium and that. And I know we've got stadium debt, but we've got it so low the interest rate on it that it's payable. Plans would have been put in place already. So for me, I'm just saying that if we want to compete, and I didn't go on a rant, but I said this the other day. I think I said it on my show, and I said it when I was guesting on Sabba's last. This would have been last Sunday. I turned around and said that last year I felt we were 5 players light. we win the Europa League. We got given 48 hours of absolute joy, pure joy, on winning the trophy on Wednesday the 21st, and then we did the parade on Friday the 23rd. And at the end of the day, for me, I just watched the other teams, and the other teams either strengthen their squads or they replace a player that's leaving, one of the two. And I just feel that we are so behind, and we have been, and being behind everyone started years and years ago. It's not something that's overnight. We're here with it now. This started years and years ago when I remember when Pochettino, they didn't buy anyone for 500 odd days. So this has started years and years ago. Poch even said back then, it's nice, it's good having a really nice shiny house, meaning the stadium. But if you haven't got the furniture, meaning the players, then there's an issue, there's a problem. So for me, I think we need the two players that we're linked with. We need them. We probably need a lot more than that, but we do need them at least. So yeah, if last night showed me anything, it's that yeah, we still are short of some players. Daz says, do you think the rest do like in rugby now and talk OVR? I like what they do, Daz. I like what they do. When I see the football referees do it, i.e., they did it, I don't know, in the Euros for the women and stuff like that, I felt they're too robotic because all they say is number 9, offside. And that's it. That's all they say, right? But in rugby, they say, yeah, the player in the lead up to X, Y, and Z was this, and that's why we're doing it. So it's quite good the way that rugby do it, because all you got to do is in rugby sometimes. No, they do it all the time. In rugby, what they do is they stop the stop clock, don't they? When they're looking for something, they stop the stop clock. You give your announcement of whatever it is, and then the stop clock starts when play starts again. So you don't lose any time over it. So I think it's a good idea. It's a lot better than saying number 9 offside. When was number 9 offside? In the first phase, the third phase, the seventh phase, the 12th phase? Personally, Daz, I'm proper old school. Proper old school, I am, right? So for me, it's, I think VAR for goal line technology. For me, I'm okay. I'm proper old school. For me, it's just a whistle from the referee and 2 linos. That's it. I thought that if you brought goal line technology in for goal line for the goals and that would have been a positive for football. VAR, I think, has taken it a step too far because it's not bulletproof, it's not bomb proof. Now you've got the technology for VAR for offsides, and even that, when they say it's not offside, right? And they tell you that the decision is not offside, and then I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes later on the screen, it then comes up an image, and they show the affected part that kept you offside, or the affected part of the defender that kept you onside. That should be there and then straight away. That should go automatically, like goal line technology. It should be a buzz straight away to a referee. If they're going to make the referees redundant and lazy, you don't need a referee. A buzz in the ball, the way they do it with the goal line technology, a buzz will tell you if a player's offside or not, rather than having to do the whole rigmarole that they go through now. But I'm still old school, Daz. I prefer football when it was just a referee and 2 linos. And that's it. Chris Peters, good afternoon, Mr. Peters, sir. I hope you're well. Says just watching from the beginning. Spencer signed a new contract till 2029. But Chris Peters then says something further down the line. Says, haha, I thought it was Friday today, was expecting predictions. No, it's tomorrow. I'm talking about yesterday and going forward, and I'm talking about tomorrow as well. Because I was trying to give people the last opportunity before tomorrow to enter the 2 competitions that we've got, and also to advise people that they need to become members in order to partake tomorrow. I'll repeat it again now. I've got a few more of you. In tomorrow's show, you'll all be able to watch it. Everyone can watch the show tomorrow. That's not an issue. You can all watch it, but you can only comment if you're a member. That's the difference with tomorrow. So predictions will be member only. So if you're a member, you'll be able to do your predictions. Anyone that is not a member won't be able to put predictions in. However, we do have 2 other games that you don't have to be a member that are free of charge, and I will go back to them in a second. I just want to say hello to Graham as well. Says, afternoon, Jose, I hope you're well. I am, Graham. I hope you are well, sir, as well. The Wiz says, big up, Jose, mate, and chat. Good afternoon, Wiz. Lee, I hope you are well, sir. Lord Rodney says, both Vuskovic and Lancashire would have been massive helps to secure the win yesterday. However, sending them on loan wasn't wrong not to have an adequate bench days. Vuskovic was actually at the game yesterday. I don't know why he wasn't a sub, because he announced his squad on Monday. Biss was taken out of the squad for misdemeanors on Tuesday. Vuskovic, I don't know why they didn't put Vuskovic in. Although I did see Vuskovic with number 80 on his shorts. I did see that, so I don't know. He might have been a sub. I don't know, but he was definitely there supporting the team yesterday. But yeah, we've already discussed Vuskovic. I would keep with that in a heartbeat. I'm not sure about Lancashire though. I think Lancashire's still got a bit more to do, in my eyes. Marianne says you can't celebrate a goal anymore. You just have to wait for VAR. Don't like VAR. Marianne, you're exactly right. It takes away the euphoria. So when you scored a goal, whether you were playing on a park Sunday league when you were as a kid growing up and you played with your school football team, up to when people played amateur, semi-pro, professional football, score a goal, the euphoria that you get as the goal scorer and your teammates get, and then the fans get it as well, because the fans, euphoric because the goal's been scored and that. That's all fantastic. But now your celebrations have been muted because you're not sure, because you have to wait for 10 phases to be looked at again. And it's just absolute madness. And so I totally agree. Like I said, I'm an old school referee to lino man person myself. I need to remind people again. I need to go back and look for it. I might have to re-put it into the chat. Good afternoon, Nige. I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. There is the predictions league, or the mini predictions. So predict the Prem. Let me put it back in there again, because I don't want people to miss out. Right. If people want to do predict the Prem, then the link for that is there. I'm going to put it in now. That's predict the Prem mini league, free of charge to enter. And by doing that, you enter that, and then you enter the code 561854. Right, that gets you into predict the Prem. Yeah, if you want to do it. And then if you want to do Fantasy Premier League, then it is all right. Let me just put this in the link in here as well. Right, to enter Fantasy Premier League, it's that one followed by the code ZQ 6LYF. Right. So if anyone wants to enter any of the competitions, these are the 2 that are free of charge. I'll go back down here again. Right, so predict the Prem is there. Predict the Prem looks like so. Just to remind people, because there's more of you here now. This will probably be the last plug I'll give it today, because tomorrow it all kicks off. But there's predict the Prem for you. It's all there. There's the league so far. We have 46 people in it. And all you do is you pick your predictions. And like I explained to people earlier, right, if I think today, the beauty of this one is, oh my God, I've gone 9. The beauty of this is today, if I make a prediction of 2-1 to Liverpool, like you can see there, and tomorrow, because it's on Sky Sports, an hour before the kickoff, they announce the teams. And when they announce the teams tomorrow, I realise that they've got no Zabani, no Dean Hussein, no Kirkes, they've got no Cliver, and I think to myself, God, I don't think that team's going to score a goal now against Liverpool. And I see Liverpool team, and I think, do you know what? I think Liverpool might even win this by more. Then the beauty of this is, up until a minute before this kicks off, is you can always change your prediction. So you can go back in, and I can change my prediction there, and I can make it a 4-0 prediction, right? So it's all easy to change, right? So that's the one thing. It's all easy to change, but we've got 46 players, more than merrier. You're more than welcome to join in. I've put the link and the code into the chat for you, and that is fantasy. So that's predict the Prem. And then also we have, as usual, every year, we also have Fantasy Premier League. And with the Fantasy Premier League, we have, or last I checked, we had 40 odd teams in there. I don't know where that's gone up because I've not been looking. Right, let me just do a ding. Let's look at it again. And I'm going to join the leagues, people's leagues tonight. And I'm going to do all that tonight. But I'm setting up my own. So I'm doing it tonight. So this, I have at the moment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. We have 42 people have entered the Fantasy Premier. Yeah. So I think the way it works is if some of you people were in this last year, right? As soon as the league's been set up, providing that you've got a team already, you'll be in. Yeah. If you've got a team already and you pick a team, then you'll automatically, if someone renews a league, you'll automatically go into it. So some of you have automatically gone in. I didn't have to give you a code. You've automatically gone in because you were in it last year and you've picked a team. For those of you that haven't picked the team yet, then these are the codes that you need. Yeah. So Fantasy Premier, and the codes are both in the description, right? They're both in the description, and I've put them into the chat as well. So if people want to join it, you're more than welcome to do so. Obviously, the first games start tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. So if you're going to be in it to win it, then you haven't got much time. So if you want to do it, sign up. If you're waiting for tomorrow's show and you forget, sorry, instead of waiting for tomorrow's show where everything's like, and everything's at breakneck speed, then get yourself signed up before tomorrow. What I will say is on the Fantasy Premier for you guys is that although our show starts at 4 o'clock tomorrow, we're doing the predictions live. Fantasy football, Premier Football, or whatever, that usually closes 2.5 hours before a game. So if you haven't selected your side, you'll be too late tomorrow. Oh yeah, and it'll be too late to enter because they close the game off to do their updates and stuff like that about 2.5 hours before a game. So just be really wary. If you are interested in entering it, please make sure you're in early to do it. So there you go. So it's all there. The codes are all there. There we go. You've got East. LM says he thinks he's in fantasy. Rob Belcher, good afternoon. So Rob says, big up to Peter Kagayas. Great support for Jose. Yes, he is a great supporter. And he's a good man to speak to as well. People don't all share his opinions. People sometimes don't agree with his opinions. But I think you've got to understand the Aussie humour, which I seem to understand. And therefore, with all these Aussies, I get on with them. And here is Colin, says, good morning. Good morning, Colin. I hope you're well. Colin, are you taking part in Predict the Prem? Or are you taking part in fantasy football? If you are, the links are there, the codes are there. And also tomorrow, predictions. And I remind everyone again, predictions tomorrow. The live show, 4 o'clock. It will be members only. It doesn't mean you can't watch, because you can. Anyone can watch, whether you're just someone who's not subscribed, a subscriber, anything. You can all watch it. No one stops anyone for watching it, right? But I will say the only caveat is that tomorrow the only people will be able to put results in the chat and will be members. And where people used to leave them after the show, the only results I'm going to take are from members. And I can see who members are because you'll have your member badge. whether you're doing it in the chat or after the show, it will just be members. So yeah, for 2 years we've done it now, and it's been really successful. But it's so much work, and as I explained earlier, you get people that turn up that put 1 score out of 15 in. You get people that do 3 scores out of 15, and you're just like, wow, I've got to do all the work for these people, and the people come and go, come and go. I think last year we ended up with 140 players that played throughout the season, which was bigger and more than the season before. I'll be honest, I don't anticipate, it'd be great if I got 140 people, but I don't anticipate getting 140 this year, because the people that really do want to play it will become members. And the people that do really want to play it and become members means that we'll have an intimate group that are doing it. And, you know, the banter, instead of someone popping in for a show here and a show there, the banter will be a real one between everyone. The Wiz says, I've decided for various reasons not to take part in any FPL or predictions this season, so you can all sleep soundly at night. That's your call, Lee. No one can take your, you know, you do what you need to do, sir. If you're not playing, then fair enough. You'll be missed, but fair enough. Colin says, I'll sign up for fantasy right now. It's fair enough. Am I done? Where do I find the join button? Right, for fantasy, Colin, have you picked your team? Tell me if you've picked your team yet. Because if you've picked your team already, then you should automatically join the league. Right. You need to pick your team, because if you pick your team, you automatically join the league. Daz says he's joined FPL, Fantasy Premier League. Right, Daz. Right. What is your name? Let me see if I can find you. I'm currently looking now. Right, I can see I can't see Daz at the moment. So if you've entered it, Daz, I can't see you at the moment. Let me just refresh it again. It's refreshing again. Right, Darren Reynolds, got you. You're in. You're in, sir. I think that takes us up to 43 now. So well done, you, Darren. You are in. So, Colin, yeah, I think that if you are, yeah, so I think it works that if you did it last year, then you automatically get registered. So, but you need to pick a team. You pick a team, and then you can go back into the leagues that you were previously in. Shem Tam says it's too confusing for his P-brain. Shem Tam, it ain't confusing, my man. All you need to do is press one of the links, enter your team once, buy your players. Can't have more than 3 from it from one team. See, the thing is, right? The thing is, my little trick is I've not picked my team yet. I picked the team in order to start the league off, but I haven't finalised my team yet. But I was thinking about having, and check this one out. I was thinking of having, right, maybe Solanke in my team, Mohamed Kudus in my team, Pedro Porro in my team, Ebereche Eze in my team, and Savinho in my team. Because at the moment, Eze's a Crystal Palace player, Savinho's a Man City player. If I already use 3 Tottenham players, and then we end up purchasing these after I've picked my team, does that mean I'll get 5 Tottenham players in my team? Never tried that one before, but if the links are real and they are, you know, fairly down the line, then you could end up. I wonder what it will do. I might even do it just for a laugh. Pick a team with 3 Tottenham players, add Savinho, add Eze, and see what happens to me thereafter. See whether I do get to keep all 5, or whether they'll drop me down to 3. Lee, take care, sir. Nice to have you. Take care. Hope you and family all well, Lee. God bless you. Yeah, I'm just wondering what will happen if I do that. So there we go. Right, people. I've been on for an hour and 24 minutes. I think I can only plug the competition so much. If you're going to watch this on playback, then please, you're more than welcome to join in. You're more than welcome to join in and enter the 2 competitions. but just a prediction game tomorrow, 4 o'clock, will be for members only. Because when it comes to tomorrow, I won't be able to see if you're banging the drums and you're banging your computer, say, why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't I? Then I won't be able to see what you're putting in the chat, because only members will be the people that can chat tomorrow. So we will go from there. Right, people, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Each and every one of you that take part tomorrow, I look forward to seeing you. So thank you very much, everyone, for your for coming today into the chat and that. I'm gonna love you and leave you all, and it's always going to be come on you Spurs, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. So yeah, links are in the description for the 2 other competitions, and apart from that, we'll see you 4 o'clock tomorrow. Brand new season of predictions. Come on you Spurs, in the Thomas the Frank engine we trust. Take care everyone, have a nice Thursday.
Tell, Cockerell, he's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerell, leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerell, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerell. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerell, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerell. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerell, the show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerell. Goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerell, the show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at.